Well, what is up, y'all? It's been a while since I've done any sort of like a plugin demo, so I figured today would be a perfect day to do it because Aurora DSP released a brand new plugin and it's actually pretty sick, and not for the reasons that you think. I didn't play any metal through it. Now, the plugin that I'm talking about though is the Aurora DSP Laboga Diamond Sound. This is a really nice plugin. It's got a ton of effects, and it's actually got a really great feature set that I don't know if many other plugin makers are actually doing, which we'll get into in a little bit, but you know what, let's go ahead and listen to this in the context of a full demo mix before we get into it. So as you heard, not really the most metal thing that I've written in a long time, but that's because I'm really stuck in my new grunge era. And yes, I was told recently new grunge, just like new metal, is a thing, so I'm here for it though. But let's go ahead and jump into Logic here so we can check out this plugin. I told you there's some really cool things about it and I really want to show them to you. So when you open it up, this is the default amp that you've got going on here. Obviously, we're looking at something that's similar to like a Marshall style amp. There are two amps. You've got the DS40 and the DS100. For that demo mix, I used just the DS40. I'm going to save the DS100 for another video later on. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. You don't want to miss this. But when you open up the plugin for the first time, default setting, it just sounds clean like this. So if we go through and look at what all this plugin has to offer, if we go through the pedal section here, we've got Overdrive, Octaver, Fuzz, and a pre-EQ. There's not a whole lot of plugin brands that are doing that, but I really enjoy it when there is a pre-EQ inside of this. It's really great, especially for low-tuned guitars. It's very nice to be able to, you know, pull out some of that bottom end before it even hits the amp. Because you don't always want to have to use your overdrive to do that. Sometimes you want more of the regular signal coming through, but you want to color it and shape it a little bit more with an EQ pedal. Now, if we go to the cabinet section here, there are quite a few different cabinets to choose from. You do have the ability to choose from the 4 different cabs here, and then you do have the different microphones that you can choose from as well. I actually, for that demo mix, I stuck to this same mic combination, but I just moved the mics around a little bit. So I moved the ribbon mic a little bit closer, so I had it probably about right there. And the same thing with the Dynamic 57 over here. I actually moved that a little bit closer as well. I just didn't need as much of the low end coming through. And don't worry y'all, I'm going to get into some solo tones in a little bit here. I'm just showing you the features because I think this is a really packed plugin and it's sick. So right here is what I love about this plugin. You have a graphic output EQ. This is something that I don't know of any other plugins that have this personally. Maybe Aurora DSP's other plugins do. And I do want to give a big shout out for Aurora DSP for sending this plugin over to me to make a demo for all of you. Now, they are not paying me for this, so I don't think this is a sponsored video, but I did want to be transparent in that they gave me this plugin free of charge so that I could make a video with it. Do with that what you will. All thoughts and opinions are my own. They do not get to see this video before it goes live or anything like that. So as far as graphic EQs go, I usually have to use something like Pro Q4, Pro Q3, so on and so forth. After whatever plugins that I'm using, it's really nice to have this built into the signal chain of the plugin because I can do a lot more with it. So I do what I usually would do is I would create a low and high cut and I would bring those up. So I'd bring this up to like what, 70 something around there. And then the high cut, I would put more around, I don't know, like 10.5. And then from there, you can actually do bell curves. You can do a high shelf. So I would usually do a high shelf at like 5,000 and kind of crank that a little bit, give it 2-3 dB of gain there. And so you can see how useful this is to have it just built in to the plugin itself. And let's go ahead and go for that dreaded, where's that 4K? So let's go to 4K and bring down the 4K like everybody does. So you can immediately dip that if you want to. Joey Sturgis would be proud. And again, I can't state this enough. Having a graphical EQ built into the plugin itself, really useful. Next up, we have an effects rack. There's something familiar in here. So the Sonic Maximizer, man, I remember having those in my rack unit back in the day when I would play live. Still to this day, I have no clue what that does, but it always just did something that for some reason sounded pleasing to me. Really cool to see that inside of here. So we do have a 10-band EQ inside of here. We do have the sonic maximizer, optimizer as we're calling it here. We do have a limiting amplifier, which you can tell by the look, by the black face of this and everything, what this is based off of. And then we do also have a leveling amplifier. Again, really awesome stuff to be including in the plugin because it means so much less CPU load and everything that you have to do adding plugins to your guitar signal chain at the end to get to the same result. So you can have it all built in. And then we do have the post effects as well. We have chorus, tremolo, delay, and reverb. Why did I say it like that? Reverb? Who the hell am I? But having all this built in, really, really clutch. This is a very, very full-featured plugin. So let's go ahead and get into some tones here. Let's try the Bloody Chainsaws from Chernobyl Studios. Just kind of have to because, you know, this is metal. Definitely does the chainsaw thing. Ice Cold Room, what do we got here? Alright, low gain black metal. Let's see what this sounds like. That's a decently high gain. That sounds pretty good. Alright, so here's the tone that I made for that demo mix. Now keep in mind that it's a fuzz tone. It's not supposed to sound amazing by itself. It's supposed to sound good in a mix. At least that's how I build them, so. So to make that one was honestly fairly simple. It's just a fuzz tone, right? But I did something I've never done before, even while messing with real fuzz pedals, which is we've got the fuzz pedal turned on, right? But we also have an overdrive pedal turned on. I personally have never done that. I have an overdrive sitting right next to a fuzz pedal. Never once have I combined the two. And now I know I need to start trying to stack those and see what it sounds like. So this is with the overdrive on. And this is with it off. So obviously the fuzz still sounds very, very pleasing that way, but I felt like it cut through the mix a little bit better with the overdrive pedal on. I do also have the 6-band EQ turned on, and so that EQ pedal turned off. So I think the 6-band EQ helps me to clean that signal up a little bit more before it hits the amp. It smoothed things out a little bit, which is funny because if you look at what I've done, I've actually cranked the 1.6 and the 3.2K and I've left everything else alone on it. And so for whatever reason, to my ears, that sounded smoother. Over in the EQ section here, I have very simply just put a high and low cut on it. Now for the intro song that you heard there, what I did was I brought these quite a bit further in, just like you would for, you know, the good old radio effect. And then I added a middle bump right here. And so now we've got... And then to get that kind of fade-in sound that you heard, all I did was automate those same frequencies, and that allowed me to get that effect. Again, having to use less plugins because this has everything built in, very, very useful, in my opinion at least. All right, so over in the effects rack, so the post-effects rack, what I do have turned on right now is we do have the 10-band EQ and the sonic maximizer. Those are both not putting in a ton of work, but that's what we've got with them on. Let's turn them both off, and then I'll turn them each on one by one. Now the 10-band EQ. And the sonic maximizer. So it sounds like the maximizer is actually putting in the most work there. It's definitely doing something. Again, I still have no clue what these maximizers do. They just sound cool and it does something to the signal that I actually enjoy. I'm not using any of the post effects here. I didn't do any leads for this song or anything like that. But again, I do have another video coming up soon where I'm going to utilize a lot more of this plugin. I just wanted to make sure y'all get to see everything right now. But I mean, that is the Laboga Diamond Sound. That sounds fantastic. And I know this isn't what everybody's used to as far as metal and metalcore coming from me, but that's what this plugin inspired me to write. And it did it really, really well. This is the first plugin that I've been able to get like that kind of fuzz tone without having to use my like physical pedals or anything like that. I was just running my guitar straight into my interface and straight into the Diamond Sound plugin. Aurora DSP, y'all nailed it on this one. It's a really, really sick plugin. And it can do the heavy stuff. It can do metal, it can do metalcore. But obviously it can also do the lighter stuff, the grunge stuff, the new metal stuff, and sound good while doing it. Not every metal plugin can do all of those other genres seamlessly like this one can. So I think they really hit the nail on the head here with this one. But what are your thoughts, and what would you like to see me demo with this next? Because this has been my go-to plugin all week and I'm definitely going to be jamming it for a while. But let me know down in the comments, what do you want to hear from this? And what do you think I could have done better as far as setting these things up? Because these are not amps that I would normally play through. And so this is a total learning experience for me as well. But I'm here for it, you know? So big thanks again to Aurora DSP for sending this over. I really thoroughly enjoyed jamming through this and writing an entire song because of it. And thanks to all of you for watching if you made it this far. Peace and love, and I will talk to you in the next one.